How are you, everyone? My name is Wurud Al-Jamal. I'm a student at Islamic Banking in the University of Jordan. I'm almost a graduate. I'm going to graduate after the second semester, inshallah. The talk today is titled Without Women, Men Are? Question mark. And this is a question we're going to answer after this lecture. At the end of it, we're going to answer this question, and I want you to think about it, okay? First, I want to start with why the role of women is so important in this world. Why everyone is talking about the rights of women, the role of women in the world. Why is it concerning them? Why is it a big deal anyways? Why don't we talk about the role of men, or the role of children, the role of whatever? That is because you can never really measure the ethics and the manners of a nation unless you see the way they treat their wives and the way they treat their women. This way you can know how of a nation they are. Of course. Is this better? Is it better? Okay. So that's why everyone is concerned about that, because when you see there's two movements in this world, one which is calling for equality, feminism. They're calling women to be equal with men, to work the same jobs, to have the same rights. But is this what Islam is calling for? Islam is calling for the equality or justice? It's calling for justice, yes. Because actually, men aren't like women. Women are so different than men. So that's why equality is actually going to do injustice to the woman than giving her rights. Other than in Islam, you don't have to, like in the modern world, women have to take off their clothes to attract men, or to get hired, or to get the attention they want. Actually, in Islam, this is not the case. In Islam, they teach you that woman is not about the appearance. Yes, her appearance is important, but it's not the measurement of how good a woman is. So Islam came in an age where women were oppressed and women were injustice by their fathers and by their wives, by their husbands. They were killed when they were born because they brought shame to their families. Women were not welcomed in their families. Women were treated even less than the way the animals and camels were treated. So Islam came at that age to give women their rights and to give them their dignity. Because actually, women that doesn't feel dignified won't be able to work as good in the society. She will be feeling less all the time. She won't be productive. She won't be a good wife. She won't be a good mother, because she's feeling less than a human, which is what Islam came to change. Because in front of God, women and men are equal. But in reality, in this world, in this worldly life, women have different jobs than men. There are some misconceptions that are brought always about women. Like, how can you say a woman is dignified when her husband is allowed to beat her, or when her husband is allowed to have four wives, and women are not allowed to only have one husband? So she's injustice. How are you expecting her to be productive in a society that she's already oppressed in? Well, actually, let me start with the matter that says women can get beaten by their husbands. This is a misconception that I get all the time, even by my convert friends. They ask, about this. Are men actually allowed to beat their wives? Yes? Yeah? Okay, in what way? In what way? Like, are they allowed to beat her, like, to get her hurt if she's not obedient? Yeah? Okay. So this comes from the verse that says if they were not obedient, you can beat them. But actually, the correct translation of the word daraba, يضرب زوجته, in English is strike, not beat, not hit. Because beating and hitting women is going to hurt them. But striking is the act of motion. Like when you catch a miswak and you do this to someone else, you're striking them, but you're not hurting them. And this is the meaning that came in Quran. Not beating women, but striking, which is a way that a man can tell his wife that I'm not pleased with the way you're acting to me. And if you didn't change it, we might get a divorce. So actually, it's not beating. This is a misconception that need to be addressed in this world, because as women, when you go out and when you travel, you're going to face them, and people are going to face them. So, from this point, women will feel that the rights are given to them by Islam. And when they feel this way, they will be able to support their husbands in a good way, because they already feel like a full human. They already feel that they are dignified and they are a very big part of the society. So, I just want you to, I want to ask you if you know anything that the Prophet said to his wife, or he recommended men to treat his wife upon. Do you know a hadith that says you should treat women in a good way? Yeah? What is it? It's in his last speech. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said in his last speech that the best of you are the best to their wife, and I'm the best to my wife. And this shows us that as a man, you have to be the best supporter for your wife, to be able to raise your children well, to be able to educate her family, to go out to the society and be better persons. So her role is either direct, that she goes out to society and be productive and do activities as you're doing now. You're attending a lecture, and that's a direct, productive act of woman. Or it can be indirect, by supporting your husband to be a better person, going out to the society and being productive, or educating your family to be better people and going out to society. So it all depends on women. Women are the let's say, the motor of the society. They're the soul of the society. They're everything in society. Actually, we have one lucky thing we women have that men don't have, or they have it but less, which is we get to show our Muslim identity fully. Like if you walk down the street in any non-Muslim country, they would immediately know that you're a Muslim woman. It gets harder with men, but this is the way you can be so proud of your Muslim identity. Because you have to show, as a woman, you have a very big role in this world. You know, you always will get the question of, are you oppressed, or are you did you get married to your husband without your will? So you have to be always prepared. One of my convert friends, she's American, her name is Liz. She converted to Islam because after searching in all laws in this world, and after searching in all religions, she never found a religion that give women rights and participate her in the society as Islam. So she couldn't help but to convert to Islam. One of my friends yesterday which I face so many times with my friends. They can't go out to public and talk. They can't help their friends study. They can't do seminars, or they can't participate in any project because they always underestimate themselves as women. Okay, there's a man in the room. How can I talk? There's a man standing. They're looking at me. How can I talk? Or I'm going to be less than what's expected. If you're going to think that way, you're actually not going to do any role in this society. You're always going to be afraid. You're always going to be feeling less. And you have to work on that point. Because if you women are not going out to talk about women's rights, who are going to talk about it? Men? I want women to talk about women's rights, not men talking about women's rights. Because if it's not coming from you, then it's not going to be as influential. Okay, who can tell me a story of a woman in his family or in his environment who made a big change in her environment by doing some kind of a role? Who can tell me a story? Are you surrounded by any productive woman? Yes or no?
Yes.
Like whom?
My mother.
How is she productive?
She's being a very good teacher in her school where she's teaching, and she's and she's the best teacher. Like she's the most productive teacher in the school, and everyone loves her, and everyone keep mentioning about her. Even when I'm going to the school, they say to me, "Oh, you are the teacher's daughter." So they are very proud of me because I'm the daughter of the teacher, and that makes me very proud of my teacher, of my mother, and it's because I think she's an icon of a Muslimah for me.
MashaAllah. What a great example. Seriously, you have a very great role model. And that was one of the most important jobs to teach and to do is teaching, because you are influencing generations. And you're influencing many people. You're not influencing only one, like your boss or whatever. Okay, so who has another example? Other than mothers? No one? How about neighbors? Have you ever talked to your neighbor? Yeah? Wow, that's a very good thing, because actually sometimes in Jordan it's hard to talk to your neighbor, especially if she was a female. And because she thinks that her place is only her home and she's not allowed to contact any other woman around her. So how could she be a good woman if she's not knowing her responsibilities, if she's not able to talk to her female neighbor, right? Okay, I'm going to ask this to men. How are you going to support women to be better persons? Yes?
Respect, support her.
Support her and respecting her. How are you going to do that? Let me ask. Because one day you're going to be husbands too. So are you going to let her stay at home and not go out?
I will let her do what she loves to do.
That's nice. Yes, that's very good. That's very good. Because as important as the role of women in society, I'm not going to say they have to let, or men have to let them do that, but sometimes, in some cases, if men are not supportive enough, they're going to oppress their woman indirectly, like by not letting her go out. Okay, so who could tell me? Okay, there is a very good examples from the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, like Khadija radiallahu anha. who she worked in command. She worked as she had her own business, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was working for her, and she was his boss. She had her own money. This is a very important role. You have to work also at, okay, any of you are studying Islamic banking? No one? Or fiqh or usul? Islamic banking? MashaAllah. Yeah, you? MashaAllah, very good. Because our role is not only in educating too. Our role is also in working and being productive inside institutions, in working. One of the great examples I love is when there was a war, غزوة الخندق, at the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, Safiya bint Abd al-Muttalib. She was behind this, she was inside this castle, and far were outside. And one Jew, he came to see whether they are able to come in. And she saw him and she killed him, and she threw his head to the kuffar, which scared them and made them think they are a whole army behind that castle. So the role of women is not only in schools or in homes. She's also to participate in such cases, wars, or to be a doctor, or to be everything. She has to take her role in the society. So I want to hear the answers. Without women, men are. No, we don't want to say nothing, which is the common sentence. But what do you think? Without lost? This is what I thought too. Meaningless? We can't say that because that way we're going to be oppressing them. Not a happy person? Okay, so without women, men are incomplete, let's say it that way. And without men, women are incomplete too. So we depend on each other so much, and we have to support each other so much. And one of the great nations I love nowadays in doing that is the Malaysian nation. I'm so proud of them. They have excellent role models, mashallah, and they know their limits, they know their rights, women and men, and they know, yeah, women know everything they have to do and everything they have the right to get, and so men are. So I think Malaysian nation is the nation that is a role model nowadays, the nation that every Muslim nation should look up to in every aspect. Any questions? Thank you very much.